songs can have different versions, such as the radio edit, the clean version, the explicit version, a remix done by DJs, and there's also a remix that adds another artist making it a duet, or there's a version with another language. And in some way, these versions sometimes can change the production, or maybe there's new added lyrics, like if there's a featured artist. Now, when it comes to what I'm going to be discussing in this video, I'm going to be discussing songs that have had changes, but there was no like different version. It's just that I had a change. There's a different lyrics, or maybe newly recorded vocals. There could be some other change that you noticed that wasn't there before. And some of the reasons why this could happen is because as time has gone on since the song was released, maybe controversy has happened with some of the lyrics. There could also be copyright issues, or maybe there was feedback from the general public or fans on a specific part of a song or some lyrics that ended up getting changed because of that. There's other reasons as well, which I will get into, starting with Fading by Rihanna. So after some time had passed when Rihanna released her album Loud, the following year in August 2011, Rihanna re-released, or I guess you can say switched the song with another version. And it was because when the original was released, it had a sample, and that was from Enya's song One by One. But due to there being problems involving copyright, they ended up just having to re-release it instead with some changes to the production. Vicious by Tay McCray. Originally, when Tay did release Vicious on June 2020, the song featured Lil Mosey. Then the following year in May 2021, he was removed from the song, and she ended up re-releasing the song, but this time just a solo song, and it featured new lyrics for the second verse that had a mix of the lyrics from the first verse. And the reason why Lil Mosey was removed from the song is because in April 2021, he was charged with sexual assault by 2 women, which later in 2023, he was found not guilty. So for this next song, I couldn't find a reason why there was added vocals to this radio version when comparing it to the album version, and that is Black Widow by Iggy Azalea featuring Rita Ora. And my only guess as to why maybe this exists is because maybe this was just a radio exclusive version, which if you are interested in more like radio exclusive versions that artists used to do, I did do a video on it, which you can watch right here. So for this next artist, they not only had 1 but 3 songs, which is SZA, and one of the songs was Good Days. After SZA had released the song on Christmas Day back in 2020, fans shared online that they didn't like the mixing and that it sounded unfinished. Because of the response, SZA took to Instagram and she posted a story sharing that she was gonna switch the production, as well as saying, "Please know y'all ruined my entire vibe and I'm not sharing shit else. Don't ask ever." Next up we have the song Saturn, and this is a song that was a surprise release with a bundle that included a live version, a sped up version, the instrumental and a cappella version. And this was released on February 22nd, 2024. And this was the lead single to Lana, the reissue of SOS. But after it was released, many fans expressed that the mixing needed to be fixed, which SZA did address the next day on the 23rd on Twitter. And she said that it was going to be corrected shortly, which did get updated a few days later on February 26th. Then the third and last song was All the Stars that featured Kendrick Lamar. On January 4, 2018, the song was first released as a lead single to the Black Panther the album soundtrack. But when the full soundtrack was released on February 2nd, fans started to realize that the album version had different changes that the single version did not, such as it having different lyrics and also it's 3 seconds less than the single version. I couldn't find the reason why, but maybe later on, before the soundtrack was released, they just decided to make some changes and maybe add some stuff or change a few things. And also another thing that I wanted to mention is that on December 2024, SZA did tweet about updating the mixes on some of her songs off her SOS Deluxe Lana album. And these changes ended up happening the next year on January 6, 2025. Me by Taylor Swift featuring Brandon Urie. When Taylor released Me, the lead single to her 2019 album Lover, it had a mixed reaction with many disliking it, saying that it was childish and that it gave kids bop. And there was a specific part of the song that there was many pointing out that they did not like. At the beginning of the bridge, when the lyrics go, "Hey kids, spelling is fun." So after some time had passed, 2 days before the release of Lover, without addressing it, she did end up removing those lyrics off the song. So while you can hear the original lyrics in the music video and even the single version if you did happen to purchase it at that time when it first came out, you won't be able to hear it on the album or anywhere else since those were removed. Of course, if you go online like on YouTube, you will be able to find the original version that had those lyrics. Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas. So before the song was released as the group's fourth single, off their 2003 album, Ella Funk. Originally when the song was released on the album, it had a slur in the title as well as the lyrics, which keep in mind this was the 2000s and society back then wasn't as aware of how offensive that word was like now, because back then in some media like films and even music, that word was used and you wouldn't get backlash for it. So what led to them changing the song was in 2004 when they re-recorded it as Let's Get It Started, and it was for commercials for the NBA playoffs on ABC. And because of the commercial being aired frequently, this version just started to get very popular, and so they just decided to officially release this version known as a clean version as the next single. And then Interscope Records just decided to repackage the album with the song as a bonus. When it came to streaming, they did switch that original version with Let's Get It Started, so now that's the version that is on the album. So next we have Yes and, the remix by Ariana Grande and Mariah Carey. When the remix was released on February 16, 2024, besides it having a mixed reaction with one of the common comments saying that the song had bad mixing, with no time wasted the next day on February 17, the song's mixing was changed and it left fans happy with the changes, even though there was already a divide of some liking this remix and some not. Writing solo by Jason Derulo. Originally the song was going to include a sample from the song Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve, which according to fans this version was even played on radio, but because a sample wasn't confirmed, the arrangement of the song had to be changed to a more electronic type of production in its place.
Like a star, you can't stop my shine. I'm flying cloud nine, my head's in the sky. I'm solo. I'm feeling like a star, you can't stop my shine. I'm flying cloud nine, my head's in the sky. I'm solo.
Picture to Burn by Taylor Swift. So back when the song was released on Taylor's self-titled album, well her debut album, in 2006, Taylor being a teenager at the time, before the song was selected as a single, it actually had different lyrics at the beginning when the song was first released on the album. So go on and tell your friends I'm obsessive and crazy. That's fine. I'll tell mine you're gay. So the song reflects Taylor's emotions during a teenage breakup, but with having gay in the lyrics in a way that could be seen as negative and hurtful towards the LGBTQ+ community. After receiving feedback, she decided to change the lyrics. And when she did release the deluxe edition of the album in 2007, the newly changed lyrics were changed on both the albums.
I'm obsessive and crazy, that's fine, you won't mind if I say.
And then of course when streaming had started, the change was already made. Beyonce has also had to change a lyric in one of her songs, which was Heated, from her 2022 album Renaissance. And that was because of criticism that said that she had used a slur that was against people with disabilities, which some did note that the word actually does have another meaning in the Black community. that is commonly used to mean go crazy. So Beyonce's publicist did leave a statement that said, "The word not used intentionally in a harmful way will be replaced." And in this same year, Lizzo also got backlash over a lyric using that same word from her song Girls, which she did address it in an Instagram post that led to the lyrics being changed. And just like Beyonce, she was thinking of the other meaning that this word had. So there was no intention of using this word in a harmful way. It was just an accident. So now that I had mentioned songs that got changed around the time that they were released, these next two that I'm gonna mention, they did get changed, but it was like years later after the release, which I will get into it. And the first one is TikTok by Kesha. So this was a song that was released in 2009, and it had the lyrics, "Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy," and she has changed the way she has performed this song. So at the time when Kesha co-wrote the song, the information that we know now about Diddy, it wasn't really known, at least publicly yet, being a horrible person, and all the allegations that were against him ended up being true. Kesha just decided to change the lyrics, and she has spoken about this in interviews that she does plan to, when she is able to re-record the song with the newly changed lyrics.
I actually changed that in the 2023 tour. I was paying attention and was like, absolutely not.
Okay.
I in good conscience can't say anything positive
Good
with that
decision.
name in the same sentence. So it was way before. It's before we have all the information we have now. But I was like, absolutely not.
Then lastly, we have Better Than Revenge by Taylor Swift, a deep cut that Taylor wrote at the age of 18 that was first released on her 2010 album Speak Now. And while doing her re-recordings to own her masters, fans were wondering if she was going to change the lyrics, since it had become controversial, criticized for being misogynistic. So when it came to the re-release of Taylor's version of Speak Now in 2023, she did end up changing the lyrics. And while there was a divide on some liking the change and some thinking she should have just left it alone, many did understand that Taylor was very young when she wrote the song, and clearly those lyrics don't sit right with her anymore. So what are your thoughts on this? Did any of the songs I mentioned, did you know there was an original version before some lyrics were changed? If you are interested, I did do a video about pop songs that were titled differently before they were officially released, which you can watch right here. And I also did a video about artists that I think should collaborate with Fortnite, which you can watch here as well. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, I would really appreciate it. And also subscribe while you're at it if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.